right, keep yourselves hydrated, folks. Drink a lot of fluids because it is hot and it's going to affect you. (7-0) and modified eliminator to the lanes, please. 7-0 and modified eliminator to the lanes. This is Comp Eliminator. Stan Hunter out of Nashville, Tennessee, 32 pounds, 388 Chevrolet. He's going to run 950 is what he projects. That's the dial. Richard Lawson Jr. out of Brookville, Ohio, a 70s vintage front engine dragster with a little coupe body on it. He's out of Brookville, Ohio, 355 Chevy motor. 10 flat is what the index is for the dragster. 950 for the roadster. Full stage, lights dropping, they're gone, and it's a tight one. And the roadster closing in rapidly. Is there enough track? Yeah, he got him. 956 out of 50 to a 1061. Lawson doesn't run the number. Corvette Stingray Roadster takes on the Bantam Roadster now. And this is Uncle Dale out of Aurora, Illinois in the Bantam. Jay Rowe out of Cornersville, Indiana in the 63 Corvette. Stingray came out in 1963. The first year of it was based on the show car Bill Mitchell commissioned at Generous Motors. They toned it down. Now, Larry Shinoda is given credit for designing the 63 Corvette, but Peter Brock, the man also credited with designing the Cobra Coupe, did the first drawings to establish the baseline of the Corvette. And Shinoda also a drag racer, a modified roadster winner at the very first race. And there we go, 905 at 143 to a 954 at 139. And Jay Rowe takes Uncle Dale out of competition. 2T Roadsters ready to go. More racing action happening. Shane Bowen out of Albany, Indiana, here in the right lane. Gary Lever over in the left lane. And we're checking something on the track right now. And I guess he's got it. Someone lost the contact lens. Oh, not really. Lots of racing actions. We have a bunch of cars back in staging right now as we get ready to go. He found the other contact lens. Modified to the lanes, please. Modified to the lanes. All right, they fire back up. Shane Bowman out of Albany, Indiana, 23T. And Gary Lever out of Kettering, Ohio, 23T. 468 cubic inches with a big block against 400 cubic inches here in the right lane. advantage, a slight one, right lane out in front. Bowman trying to hold off the charge. He does. 852 on an 850 at 151 miles an hour to an 851, but he got the whole shot by a mere 200ths of a second. Wins by 100th of a second. Two T Roadsters. Wiggling back and forth at the stripe. Berger, it's the Budweiser lane with an 803 to an 809, and Pat Lamont takes the win by 900ths of a second. Dan Deshawn gets a single into the next round. Off the mark, 1.2, 60 foot. Looking for a 9 flat. Dan Deshawn on a single. Goes 899 with a 1. 9,000ths of a second off the dial. Dragster comes up now. Larry Aldridge out of Franklin, North Carolina. A 2000 Yonce chassis with a 598 big block. Taking on Steve Matthews out of Murrieta, Oklahoma. A true nostalgia car, 1969 Woody Gilmore chassis with a 406. A 750 heads up. The 750 heads up index category. Everyone runs 750. The object get there first, but don't run too quick. Right on the hit. 017 reaction from Matthews, and if he doesn't go too quick, he's got the win. He goes 765 and takes the win. Right lane has a problem, pulls over to the side, but doesn't stop, just keeps on going. The goal is if you have a problem and you have to pull over to the side, stop. The quicker you stop, the quicker we can get things cleaned up. All right, so the dragster comes to a stop at the finish line. And right now he has got slow ET of the day at 27.95. We'll get the track clear. Be back to racing action in just a few minutes. All right, safety crew coming to collect the dragster. We'll be back to racing action in just a minute. Thank you for coming out to the 16th running of the National Holley Hot Rod Reunion presented by AAA. You're here and check out the booths behind us. Holley's got $10 t-shirts. That's right, just $10. How many do you want? They got them. All right, they're pushing the dragster off track now. We'll be back to racing action in just a couple of moments. Thank you for your patience. Thanks for being here for the 16th Holley National Hot Rod Reunion. Stock Super Stock to the lanes, please. Stock Super Stock to the lanes. All right, track just about clear. We're firing up more machines. The 750 index. Justin Schaefer out of Lincoln, Illinois here in the Jugs lane. And Dan McWhirter out of Bradford, Ontario, Canada. The number 6 qualifier over in the Budweiser lane. Nostalgia Super Stock. Nostalgia Super Stock to the lanes, please. Nostalgia Super Stock to the lanes. Times nearly identical. Looking for that 750. And it's the Budweiser lane going 758 with a 2 to a 758 with a 5. The margin of victory, 14 thousandths of a second. That is the closest race we've had all weekend. They were 2 thousandths difference on reaction time and 14 thousandths at the finish line. That was a tight race. Now we got Boom Boom Leonard over in the Budweiser lane. And Tyler Allen was to be his competition here in the Jegs lane. He's nowhere to be found. And Tyler Allen has a problem in the Corvette, and they're pushing him back. So Boom Boom goes another round. Boom Boom was the number 2 qualifier, ran 750 with a 5. .390 reaction, 1.1 the first 60 feet. Good launch. And at the stripe, 788 on a 750. Not where he wanted to be. Bradshaw out of Utica, Kentucky, here in the Jegs lane. Kelly Friel's Key in the Budweiser lane. 34 Bantam out of Island, Kentucky. Taking on the Utica, Kentucky dragster. It's a 2013 Rubin chassis, a Chevy 496. 34 Bantam's got a Hemi, and Kelly knows how to use it. 750 heads up index for this category. Moving up into the beams. Neither car staged yet. Pre-stage light lit for Kelly. Now Jared very, very close. Kelly with the better 60-foot mark and gets the win. 7:55 to a breakout. 7:49 for Jared. 0.58 for the reaction time. And Kelly Freehold wins by 58 of a second. Kerry Millett out of Piqua, Ohio, 41 Willys, Chevy 540. Art Millett out of Piqua, Ohio. I wonder if they're related. Kerry's 51 years young. Art is 71 years young. I think we got some family members there. What do you think? They're both out of Piqua, Ohio. They both have the same last name. Quickie dink. What do you think? Yeah. All right, Bantam Roadster up against the Willys Pro Mod style car. Got the big picnic table spoiler in the back. Well, the Willys chopped the tree in half compared to Art's Roadster. But the Roadster wins 7:51 to a 7:65. Willys doesn't run the number. Brian Friend out of Columbus Grove, Ohio, against Niles Rubar out of Cocoa, Florida. The #1 qualifier. Ran 7:50 with a 0. It's over in the left lane, the Budweiser lane. Brian Friend was the #12 qualifier with a 7:57. On the light. Who's going to be the latest? Well, a 3:34 reaction time whomped a 5:68 reaction time. 7:75 to a quicker 7:53. Niles Rubar, 0.2 of a second better reaction time, wins by 13 hundredths. So Niles goes on to another round. Now we move over to the 7-0 category and the Canadian-based Arcadian right here in the right lane. The flopper style Chevrolet. Not a Nova. In Canada, it's an Arcadian. Funny car style car, 7-0 Pro. Takes on the Fiat Topolino. Fiat Fortune out of Calmar, Alberta, a 1970 Arcadian with a 540 cubic inch Chevy motor. Lot variant out of Spring Valley, California. Fiat Topolino, the #1 qualifier in the Budweiser lane. #10 qualifier in the Jegs lane. .70 Pro is what this category is. Don't go quicker than 7-0, but get there first. Let's run what you brung. Warren says, hope you brung enough for the fight. Really identical. Not good, but identical. At the stripe, it's Lawton Ferrier. 7:03 on a 7-0 to a 7:07. Margin of victory, 46 thousandths of a second. Close racing action. The starting line was a 1:10 reaction time for Lawton Ferrier and a 1:16 for Borden. Billy Smith out of Pinkerton, Ohio. He'll be in the Budweiser lane. Mike Sexton out of Bloomington, Indiana, in the Nielsen Parks dragster chassis. Got a Hemi, 470 cubic inches. Taking on the dragster with a small block Chevy, 400 inches. Billy Smith out of Pinkerton, Ohio with the 03 Holt chassis car. And Michael Sexton out of Bloomington, Indiana, Nielsen Parks chassis. Nielsen Parks learned their trade not only by building the chassis, but by racing them as well. And they were top competitors in the Nostalgia series of racing. Michael Sexton qualified number 5, Billy Smith number 6. Within 200ths of a second of each other. At the finish line, it is Billy Smith. Now, he had the slower of the two reaction times, but he was quicker the first 60 feet and made up the difference by the 3:30 mark. Coming across the line, 7:04 to a 7:11, 181 to 190 miles an hour. Sue Christopherson out of Clarkston, Michigan. A 57 Chevy funny car. 521 cubic inches worth of Hemi. Was the number 3 qualifier up against Nick Schmidt out of Sharonville, Ohio, the number 8 qualifier. 400 cubic inches worth of small block Chevy powering the dragster. And we got something on track. Apparently one of the cars still stopped on track until we get them cleared. We're going to hold these cars up here on the starting line. Thanks for coming on to the Holley Hot Rod, the National Hot Rod Reunion. It's the 16th annual event. Glad you could make it. For those of you who came out last night to the Corvette Museum for the honoree presentations, we're glad you did. Still lots more to do this evening. We have a lot of eliminations to get through, and we've got the big Cackle Fest going to be closing off the evening. All right, track's clear. We'll fire it back up again. Here we go. All right, dragster pulls into the water. 57 Chevy pulls through. Sue Christopherson, 57 Chevy, funny car. Reminiscent of the Mongoose's last funny car. 57 Chevy, they were sponsored by Dan Chuck. All right, the 57 Chevy lights the pre-stage light. Dragster inching forward. Dragster has the stage. Pre-stage light now lit. 3/1000ths away from a perfect light goes 003. Schmidt late with a 119 light. Schmidt runs 744 to Sue Christopherson's 792. Neither running the number, and Sue goes under on the red to 003. Gives the win away to Dick Schmidt. Robbie Friels and Corey Millett getting ready to go. The Pequot, Ohio-based 32 Bantam over in the Budweiser lane, and Robbie Friels in the Island, Kentucky. Interesting cars. Bantam goes past the 330, as does Bobby Friels, or Robbie Friels. Friels was the number 4 qualifier. Millett, the number 7. He qualified with a 703. Friels not much ahead of him at 702. All right, Corey Millett in the Budweiser lane, first to light the pre-stage light. Close, left lane with the better of the 2 reaction times, but who's going to get there first? It's the right lane. Robbie Friels goes 704 to a 706. Tight race again, 37/10,000ths at the stripe. '63 split window Corvette. Look at the big bed blower sticking out of the hood. Gordon Horn out of Rockport, Indiana. '63 Corvette with 532 cubic inches worth of Oldsmobile engine was the number 2 qualifier. I think what he's doing is he's doing the smart thing. In the heat of the day, break the beam. You had the buy run, why abuse the machine? So he pulls in, he gets a reaction time, he backs it out, he saves it for the next round. No sense getting things hot and heated up. Back Porch Grillin's got a deal for you. If you got the munchies, they got what cures it. Pork chops, $3. Burgers, cheeseburgers, just $2. Hot dogs, $1. Nachos, $2. You can have a complete meal for less than $8. Or $8. $8, I can't add. 3, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. $8. Complete meal with all the basic food groups. And a hot dog. You can't get $8. You can't pass it out. I mean, a pork chop for $3. You can't even buy them uncooked for that anymore. Hamburger, cheeseburger, $2. Hot dog, $1. Tube steak is what we call them out in the left coast. Nachos, $2. Back porch grilling. Check them out. Geezer Gassers to the lanes. And Scott Rods, Geezer Gassers and Scott Rods to the lanes. Nostalgia Super Stock, you should be ready. Nostalgia Super Stock, you should be getting ready. You will follow modified. Corvette modified up against the Hudson. Jody Blaylock, 1947 Hudson. Chrysler, 396 or 496 cubic inches. Bob Lake out of Hamilton, Ohio, 65 Corvette with a 427. Look at the smoke billowing out of the back of that Corvette. 10 seconds flat is what these two have dialed in. They're A modified cars. It's heads up, run it out, but don't go quicker than 10 seconds. A modified. Corvette against Hudson. Old school against older school. I think the Hudson driver stayed late. Jefferson, Georgia is where Jody's out of. Hamilton, Ohio for the Corvette. Goes up in the air and has the lead headed to the finish line. Going to be too quick or going to be right there on time? He's right there on time. 10:07 to a 10:03. Wayne Hardy out of Oxford, Mississippi, 66 Chevelle, 468 power. Takes Daniel Wright out of Fayetteville, Tennessee with the 66 Nova, 434. 10-0, coming to try to get. Wheels up. Oh, both these guys have killer reaction times. 00 reaction times for each of these drivers. And at the stripe, it's Daniel Wright taking the win. He had a 005 reaction to Wayne Hardy's 007. He takes the win with a 10:04 to a 10:09. Andrew Meredith out of Evansville, Indiana, 11 flat dial in for these two cars. And Tim Birmingham out of Cincinnati, 66 Chevelle. 400 cubic inch small block against 461 big block. RPMs come up. The bubble back pulls away. Pole shot. Big one. You see it. You saw it. They were supposed to leave side by next. Andrew Meredith pulled away first, but gets past. Meredith backs out of it and only runs 12.0 on an 11.0 index, 11.08 for Birmingham, and Birmingham had a 3/10 reaction time and takes the win. Ryan Hanlon out of St. Louis, Missouri, 67 Chevy Nova wagon. Dennis Brayton out of Plainville, Indiana, 68 Plymouth. Plymouth has a 10-second dial. Ryan Hanlon, a 10:50 dial. The long roof racer will leave the line first. Goes the wagon. Mopar coming on strong. He's caught him at the half track point. Is he going to take him out at the finish line? Well, he took him out because Ryan Hanlon broke out. Goes 10:45 to a 10:03. Dennis Breeden getting the win. Henry J. over in the Budweiser lane. Introduced in 1951 as an inexpensive car for you to drive. Problem was, they priced it equivalent to a base model Ford sedan. You got a full-size Ford, or you can get the compact Henry J. Didn't go over well. Henry J powered by a 4-cylinder flathead. The Ford, a flathead 6 or V8. Henry J, optional trunk. Yes, that's right, but lead on the trunk was an option. Basic car, headed down track, through the lights, on a solo run, 1061. Wow, had a lot in the bag. Oh boy, look at this. Buddy delivers. Warren had the munchies. He went down and he gets a couple of cheeseburgers from Back Porch Grill. Plymouth pulling up here in the right lane. Glenn Willett out of Fancy Farm, Kentucky. This is Nostalgia Superstock. Little Dodge Dart, Butch Cassidy from Park City, Kentucky. 1250 dial for the Dart, 1025 for the Plymouth. Now the original Dodge Darts were full-size Dodges. They were the stripped-down model. A lot of people put big motors in them. You got it from the factory with up to a 413 at the time. The original Dodge Compact was the Lancer back in 1960. In 1963, Dodge changed the name of the Compact to the Dart, and sales improved dramatically. So Butch Cassidy with Dart dials 1250, leave the line first. Glenn Willett will try to run him down with the 1025 dial. A B Nostalgia Superstock up against the K Nostalgia Superstock. Two Mopars, one Plymouth, one Dodge. Plymouth, Chrysler in their infinite wisdom dropped the name, leaving the Dodge. Cassidy out in front. Plymouth trying to close in. Is Cassidy going to be too quick? No, Cassidy, well, yeah, double breakout. Cassidy breaks out by the lesser amount and takes the win. Glenn Willett really running it hard to try and chase him down. 65 Dodge Coronet takes on the Buick Special. 65 Buick with a 455 takes on Dave Schultz. 65 Dodge with a 580. Jim Gower out of Litchfield, Kentucky, driving the Buick. Away. Schultz is chasing. Buick is way out there. And the Dodge starts to slow down. Dodge slows down and gives the win away, 1326. Gower saw the Dodge drop the nose and decided to lift and save the motor. Another 65 Dodge here in the right lane, taking on another Buick. Jim Netherland out of Columbia, Tennessee, 67 Buick with a 400, dials 1050. Donnie Wilson out of Cave City, Kentucky, 1125. These are Gassers and Scott Rods. These are Gassers and Scott Rods. Donnie Wilson got the better reaction time. Is that going to help? Yes. Double breakout. He goes 11-19 against an 10-40. Breakout, breaks out by less, takes the win. So the Mopar goes another round. Plymouth against Comet. Mick Alls out of Albany, New Albany, Indiana, 64 Belvedere, 426. Kurt Neighbor out of Twinsburg, Ohio, with the 65 Comet. Huge injector stack sticking up out of off the engine. He's got no hood. He's hoodless. Red light for the Plymouth, double 04 in the red. 0.04 of a second away from a perfect reaction time. And unfortunately, then runs right on his dial-in, 11 flat. That is going to be upsetting. Brett Wheeler, 1125 dial to Doug Poskevich. 12-second dial. Out of DeLand, Florida with the 66 Fairlane. The Dodge Coronet wagon with the 440 out of Watkinsville, Georgia. Georgia 60-foot mark. Closing in rapidly. Dodge coming on strong. The long roof car going to do it? Yeah! 11:25 to a breakout. 11:96. Gas eliminator to the lanes, please. Gas eliminator to the lanes. Sounds like something my wife wants me to buy at the drugstore. Gas eliminator to the lanes. D.W. Hopkins, Saltillo, Mississippi, 66 Fairlane, 11 flat dial. Bob Durling out of Mooresville, Indiana, 1150 dial with the 63 Sport Fury. 426 cubic inches worth of Mopar, 428 Ford. The Mopar pulls away. Better 60 foot. Better 330. Better 8. Gonna be too quick? Yes. Breaks out. 11:44 for Bob Durling. And the win goes to D.W. Hopkins in the Ford with an 11:02 on an 11 flat dial. Danny Whitford, or Whitfound, out of Paducah, Kentucky. 67 Chevelle with a 555 big block. Danny heads down track, backs out early. Figures, I got the win, why push the motor? 1069 on a 10 flat dial, 98 miles an hour. More racing action happen as the gassers come up here.
All right, these are the Geezer Gassers coming at you right now. So Don Moyer, left side out of Mentor, Ohio. He'll stage up E-category machine, 11 flat to dial in. Taking on the D Geezer Gasser category, Chad Willett from Henderson, Kentucky, 1050. The dial in, or the index, excuse me. Over on the right side, Jegs.com lane. So gas eliminator, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Gas eliminator to the lanes. These are gassers on the ground. Good looking wheel stand for Don Moyer. At the finish line, numbers say, win's going to go to Don Moyer. 11:10 on his 11 flat index, 1:15 for the speed, 10:74, and done for Chad Willett at 1:22. Two more lining up on the starting line right now. It's John Swick from Dayton, Indiana, 55 Chevy. Alongside Joe Bush, the C Geezer Gasser out of Laurel, Mississippi, 40 Willys. The truck, the Overland truck, both of them in the C category, so both of them trying to run 10 know which one left first. Neither one of them really wanted to leave from the looks of that. Let me put it this way. A 477 was a 3/10 hole shot. Identical 1022s at the finish line goes to Joe Bush on the hole shot victory, 477 hole shot. You know, what do you say? So here's Gary Raber and Randy Addington. Addington out of Red Key, Indiana. Gary Raber, the 40 Ford Coupe right side, from Royal Palm Beach, Florida. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Gary Raber. 4 over the index, 11:04 at 1:15. Raber moves on to the next round. Randy Addington had just a touch better at the starting line, but a quarter second off the pace moves him to the trailer. Greg Burge, Chuck Lipka coming up next. Burge left side out of Petal, Mississippi. See the flame job there on the 38 Chevy. Triple nickel, 555 Chevy big block power alongside the Oldsmobile powered 41 Willys of Chuck Lipka. So Chuck normally doing a big hairy burnout, not this time. He'll pull up stage and try to run that 10 flat. That's his index, 1050 the number. For Greg Burge, he'll get a 1 bulb head start on the Christmas tree. At the finish line, a little whomping of the throttle down there. Chuck Lipka breaks out by 0.003 of a second. He's 997 on his 10 flat. That's too quick. 1075 on the 1050 for Greg Burge. He was off pace, but doesn't matter if the other guy goes too quick. You take advantage on the breakout. Bill Swarm coming up next out of Rockford, Illinois, 41 Willys Coupe. And he must be having some problems because he just backs right out of the water box and heads for the trailer. So, not sure what happened there. Didn't want to make the run. Dan Tackett, the Gulfport, Mississippi runner, 36 Chevrolet. Big block power. Going to back up from the burnout. Going to make the single. Attention in the pit area. Attention in the pit area. One of his boots, one of his funny car boots. If you have found such an item, it's not a souvenir. He's still racing. He'd like to have his boot back. So we have a racer that lost a Stroud funny car boot. If you take a look around and you see it, please return it to the NDRL trailer. He would appreciate it. So once again, a Stroud funny car boot lost out on the grounds. And if you find it, please turn it in to the NDRL trailer. Gas eliminator, final call. Gas eliminator, final call. Just an easy ride there for Frank Blaylock. 14:55 at 82 miles an hour. So we're getting cars lined up over there in the staging lanes right now. We'll send them to the ready line, and we'll have a little more competition for you coming up in just a few minutes. Hey, don't forget tonight, after all of our racing action is finished, you won't want to miss the Cackle Fest. Nitro fill in the air as you'll see those vintage hot rods, some funny cars, some fuel dragsters. It'll be a great show. It's almost a contest between those guys to see how long they can run them and how high they can make the flames. And you'll be the beneficiary of them trying to do that out there. Cackle Fest coming up after eliminations is complete. So you'll want to stick around for that. We got lots of great racing action still coming at you. Gas Eliminator, the next category, sitting over there in the staging lanes, and we're getting them lined up to send them up here for their next round. Attention in the pit area, we need Hot Rod. Hot Rod to the staging lanes, please. Hot Rod Eliminator to the lanes. Once again, hot rod to the lanes. Hot rod to the lanes. Hey, a shout out to Larry Fisher. I guess Larry's listening to us in Oregon. I guess he had a business trip or something. He had to go to Oregon, and so he was here last night for the induction ceremony and then headed for the left coast. So hello, Larry. I think there was a TV show called Hello, Larry that was based in Oregon, wasn't it? McLean Stevenson was there, yeah. So hello, Larry. Out in Oregon.
Oregon. He got out of the heat. He got into the cool Oregon. Well, maybe not so cool, depending on where he is in Oregon.
Well, that's right. I guess it's Seattle that it rains every day, right?
Yeah. But part of Oregon's desert.
Oh, really?
So it could be hot there too. So that means we got people watching this event all over the country and possibly all over the world as well. We're glad that they are doing that.
Well, I can check the numbers, but I'll tell you, something that I've missed the opportunity to announce, but I've kind of wanted to. It's kind of a special number for me with D3 TV. I've been doing this for a little over 3 years. This is my fourth season, and this weekend, based on our averages, with each event, this weekend I should top the 1 million viewer mark. That's a big deal for me.
That is.
And I'm very proud of that, and I'm very thankful for everybody that has either watched or supported or participated in any way to help make the show. But we're going to top the 1 million viewer mark this weekend. So thank you very much to everybody that's watched.
D3 TV, look for them on YouTube, and you can check it out and check out this event. If your friends couldn't make it, tell them to tune in to D3 TV on YouTube and see it live. Recorded at an earlier date. No, it's live today. All right, here we go. 2 imports from Great Britain turned into gassers. This is the Scott Rods gassers coming up right now. And now what they're doing is this is kind of Chicago style. These are last round losers. They brought them back up just to do some exhibitions for you. And look at that. Alan Borowski's West Seneca-based New York, Scott's Rods, Anglia, really smokes them for you. Mike Kolanowski out of Orchard Park, New York, in the 48 Austin. So 2 British compact cars with American hot rod ingenuity, looking cool and running strong. 560, the number they're going to try and hit. And look at that. They've got the best backup gals around.
And you'll notice that the backup girls are color coordinated this round. The girl in the green dress backing up the green Anglia, and the girl in the black and white checkers backing up the little black car over there. That's one thing I've noticed with them. They always put on a fantastic show, but a big part of the show is the backup girls, and they've got their outfits put together, and they really enhance what you see out on the track. And I know you enjoy it, and they enjoy being a part of it. So 560 is the number. They're running to the 8th mile. That's half track here at Beach Bend Raceway Park. These folks were first round runner-ups, so to speak.
Yeah.
But they are still going to run and put on the show for you. And then we'll have some elimination rounds coming up after that. 60-foot marks, equal 330s.
and a 563 to a 574. And they ran 1,000 foot this time instead of the 8th mile. They ran 1,000 foot, 804 to a 750. So normally they run 8th mile. This time they bumped it up to 1,000 foot. Scott, they're thinking of extending their group out to 1,000 foot rather than 8th mile.
Well, I know 8th mile is great side-by-side competition, but they are going to get a little bit of a curveball when they go to Norwalk for the Summit Nationals, as they will be running 1,000 foot. That's not their normal deal, but they're going to leg it out a little bit further.
And look at the backup girls here, too. They're really stepping it up on this last round of racing for them. All right, 2 Wild Willies. Ed Kosicki out of Aurora, Ohio, 33 Willies. Frankie Allen out of Covington, Louisiana, also with the 33 Willies. Keep running, going for the 1,000 foot, 761 to an 848. I got a feeling, a strange feeling, or no, take that back. He goes, well, I'm not sure. It looks like they ran quarter mile.
So, yeah, they did run quarter mile, but not intentionally. They were expecting win lights at the 660, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because they ran the numbers 573 and 647, which is where you would expect. However,
straight axle, 5 and 6, please. Straight axle cars, late 5 and 6.
And Hot Rod Eliminator, you have already been called. So we're kind of trying to sort this out up here. I think, what they told us was that those first group of cars were just coming out to make some passes. Now we're getting into some eliminations.
Okay, now it's back. Now we got the
three,
Bob Cook and Mark Benjamin. Now, I'll tell you what, the ladies backing up the cars are here. Put your hands together for them. Look at them all. They got dressed up, especially for this final round, or semi-final round. All right, so the Wild Willies of Mark Benjamin and Bob Cook getting ready to go. Chagrin Falls, Ohio, 57 Corvette was the number 2 qualifier. Mark Benjamin, the number 8 qualifier in the 33 Willies, and they are back. This is a semifinal round for the Scott Rods Gasser. .582 on a 560 to a 578 red light. Bob Cook. Benjamin takes the win. Dan Keogh out of Sullen, Ohio, and Jeff Crayon out of Buffalo, New York. All right, special thanks for Donna Mullen. We just got some American Pie bow tie Chevrolet cookies here in the tower. Oh, and they're going to be good. Yeah, and the guys on the other side of the wall go, wait a minute, you got the cookies? They're coming over. I'll see your cookie. 560 index for these guys. The Willys pick 'em up truck. That is a definite nostalgic vehicle. It has been racing as you see it improve, though, over the years, up against the Nova. Headed down track to the half track point, 568 to a 591, and Jeff Crayon gets the win. 568, 119 to a 591, 107. Greg Brannon out of Lake Mary, Florida with the 65 Nova. Kenny Robinson in the Greentown, Indiana base 67 fairway. E-Gas cars with 10-second heads-up index. Kenny Robinson takes the win, 10.08 to a 10 flat. But Brannon was late on the lights, 178 to an 042. So Kenny Robinson runs right on the number, or actually does a 10.08 to a 10 flat. Sam Patrick out of Sandpoint, Michigan, 37 Chevrolet. He takes on Jackson the index for these guys. Will the friends of Earl Van Neff please come to the base of the tower? Earl Van Neff's friends, we need him to the base of the tower. We have a situation. We need your assistance. We need the friends of Earl Van Neff to the base of the tower, please. Gary Harris with the Flying Falcon heads down track, trying to get the win, but he can't do it. He goes 950 on a 950 dial, late on the light. Bob Perkins goes 011 on reaction, goes 952 to take the win over a 950. 9:50 for Gary Harris. Margin of victory, 0.04 of a second. After 45 years, he's still running the same 58 Ford. Keith Fulp out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Taking on Jeff Thomas. Harris leads the line with the 950 index first. The 58 Ford. He's got him. Look at that. 903 to a 961. After 45 years, he's learned how to drive that thing right around the competition. The big heavy Ford does it. Billy Stolchel out of Via Ridge, Missouri. 70 Challenger takes on Stuart Forney out of Orlinda, Tennessee with the 67 Mustang. Now gets the win. Stuart, red lights by 2,000 of a second. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. 903 on a 90 dial to a 901. This was one heck of a race. Pinto here in the right lane. Rich Kent out of Aurora, Illinois. 9 flat is what he's dialing. Nick Deshawn out of Kokomo, Indiana with the Camaro. Dials 850. The Pinto will leave the line first. The pint-sized Ford is going to try and shut down the Camaro. Hot Rod Bob Beck along with Warren Evans. We're keeping you informed what's hot, what's not, and what's going on throughout the day. Thanks for joining us here at the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion. Camaro is chasing. Pinto out in front. The Camaro chasing, gets it. 9:10. Margin of victory, 0.07 of a second. Butch Hill out of Baldwin, Missouri. Car has been in the family for years and years. 348, 409 to the lanes. 348, 409 to the lanes, please. Butch Steffens out of Washington, Missouri with the 41 Willys. Takes on Butch Hill with the champion Studebaker. Got a 392 Hemi. We call it the Hemorrhoid. Studebaker. Well-respected name when they were manufacturing cars and Conestoga wagons. They were that. The line, the Willys closes, chases, catches, and gets the win. 834 to a 937. The Studi spins the tires so hard, doesn't run the number. John Tresh out of Lomation, Alabama with the Corvette. Last of, well, almost last. It's a 61 model. Slight difference between the 62, which was the last of the solid axle Corvettes. 9 flat goes 1/4 the first 60 feet, 3.9 to the 330. Coming up on the finish line, lights. He goes 948, 133 miles an hour.
Hey, Bob, we got Hot Rod coming up next. Let me jump in here for a minute, and I'll call this round of Hot Rod. We need 348, 409 to the lanes, please. 348, 409 Eliminator to the lanes. Straight axle should be there already. Chris Thompson out of Murphy, North Carolina. 83 Chevy S10. He's got it dialed in. This is a category where the driver gets to pick their number. The index categories, the numbers picked for them. They got to run to the number on the board. In this category, they get to choose what their dial-in is. They've had 3 days worth of opportunities to figure it out. And so the Falcon, off and running on his 1044 dial, already sees his win light because Chris Thompson with the red light start. West off 1042 on the 1044. Would have broke out, but it doesn't matter, as it's just a time run. The red light start for Chris Thompson ends his weekend. Coming up now, it's Johnny Matthews out of Pleasant View, Tennessee. The 65 Mercury Comet, left side. He thinks he's going to go 11:48. He'll get the head start over Mike Shanks. Shanks in the 76 Camaro out of Union, Missouri. He's dialed in at a 10:27. Head start for the Comet. There he goes. Here comes the Camaro. He's on the chase. Can he get it done? Well, he's in trouble, I'll tell you that, because Matthews was 002 on the tree, 1 over 11:49 at 1:11. In bracket racing parlance, that's a 13 thousandths package there for Johnny Matthews. Mike Shanks was already mathematically eliminated before he left the starting line. Bear Nichols comes up next out of Kevel, Kentucky. That's at 65 Chevy 2, left side. He thinks he's going to go 11:25. He'll be playing catch-up to Lynn Zandbergen, Shelbyville, Michigan, the 70 Chevelle. The yellow machine with the rally stripes. 348, 409, we need you to the lanes. And straight axle, we need you to the lanes as well. Oh my. Big time hole shot right side for the Jegs.com lane. Lynn Zandbergen going to get the win. 11:88 at 1:13. Big time starting line advantage by over a tenth of a second over Bear Nichols. Nichols was only one off 11:26 on his 11:25, but it didn't matter as he gave it up at the starting line. Mark Friend out of Neosho, Missouri, 57 Fairlane. Mark Mag alongside from right here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, as we call 750 Eliminator to the lanes. 750 Eliminator to the lanes. Once again, we need 750 Eliminator to the lanes. Another red light. This time it's Mark Mag turning on the red bulb. Mark Friend gets the win, 11:16, 4 under. But again, already had the race won via the red light start for Mark Mag. He was 999 on the 996, but the 012 red bulb does him in. Here comes the straight axle category. And your first pair, this is Willie Robinson. Left side out of Louisville, Kentucky. The high and handsome Ford over there, right? Bob, that's Ford. Nodding his head. Alongside the Mercury Comet, right side for Chuck Williams. Robinson, the quicker of the two. 7 flat is the dial in. Chuck Williams, 750. Now they are running to the 660 mark. You look down track, you'll see an orange cone in front of the Christmas tree, and then another lonesome block out there at the 330 mark, and then where you see 2 blocks close together, that is the 660 mark. We also have those hazard signs down there, so our racers know on the 8th mile that is their finish line. So it's finished at the start for Chuck Williams. Red light start for Willie Robinson. Chuck Williams was dead late out of the gate, but gets the gift and runs dead on 750 at 89 miles an hour. We need 348, 409 cars and 750 cars and 70 cars. So you 3 categories: 348, 409, 750, and 70. We need you all to the lanes, please. Adam Lohorn comes up now, the runner out of Palmyra, Indiana, the 61 Ford Falcon. Alongside Tom McCreary. See the dry hop there for Lohorn. Dumps the clutch, going to get it sorted out. 650 is his performance prediction. He'll give up 3 bulb head start One full Christmas tree head start to Tom McCreary, the runner out of Louisville, Kentucky. The Ford Falcon station wagon right side. He's looking at an 8 flat down there on the board. Again, we need 348, 409, 750, and 70. All three categories to the staging lanes, please. Again, 348, 409. This is your final call. 348, 409. Final call. Adam Lohorn for the win. 663 at 102. He's 046 on the tree to Tom McCreary's not quite an 046. If it starts with a 2, you're going to get the yellow time ticket, and that's how it works out. Andrew Blair, Mike Johnson coming up next. Blair from Maceo, Kentucky. The Skyline Deluxe, or Styline Deluxe. Styline Deluxe. 1950 vintage car alongside Mike Johnson. 63 Comet. Johnson trying to go 775. Blair trying to go 925. Blair is off and running. Here comes Johnson. Johnson trying to make up ground. Can he get it done? Yes, he does. How about a dead 1? 7, 7, 5 with a 1. Dead on the dial in with a 1 at 85 miles an hour. That made up for his tardiness at the starting line. Andrew Blair, he is a quarter second off, 952 on the 925 at 69.
All right, now the 348, 409 cars coming up. And we got a little group of them remaining. Andrew, let's see, we'll get him up there. We got the long roof racer over in the left lane, the Budweiser lane. Got a 9-passenger wagon. Want to get a ride? Got the 61 sedan, takes on the 62 wagon. Timothy Tasmer out of Wallingford, Connecticut. 409 cubic inches in the wagon. He was number 4 qualifier. Dials 1234. Rick Ingram out of Willoughby, Ohio. He's got the only 348 in the class. He dials 1345. So that was considered a big block in 1958, but it was the mid-size. Skating way out in front. Semi-final round at the stripe. The sedan is trying to hold on. 1358 on a 45 to a 1250 and a 34. Both had little slow reaction times with Timothy in the wagon. Takes the win. And Timothy will go up against this car, James Schrader out of Hartsburg, Missouri, in the final run. Schrader looking for an 1182. Worried about reaction time on a single. He goes on an 1174. So he knows he's got a little extra in there in the heat of the day. Well, we're getting down to final rounds of just about everything as we go through the different classes. We're glad you could be here. We're glad you joined us. Lots going on today. We had the card show. We've got the drag racing. We got more to come. We've got finals in fuel. We got finals in funny car. We've got finals in just about everything coming your way as we run through the classes. I'm Bob Beck along with Warren Evans. We're glad you could be here. We've been talking to you all day with the help of Bob Fry as well from time to time. Glad he was here with the tower. Bob Fry, the voice of NHRA for many, many years, and a well-known writer and authority of the sport. He has got every fact and figure you'd ever want to know about drag racing, and he's got them all right there in front of him on his computer. He knows a bunch of them as well off the top of his head. He's great to work with. First time I got to work with Bob was at the Winter Nationals. 750, 7-0 to the lanes. 750, 7-0 to the lanes. We need you there now. Modified and Nostalgia Superstock to the lanes. Modified and Nostalgia Superstock to the lanes, please. Modified and Nostalgia Superstock. Come on down.
So 750 cars and 7.0 cars, we've been looking for you for a while.
Yeah, where are you?
Yeah, where are you? We would like to run you, but if you don't show up, we can't. I mean, we can take what you might take home with you. You know, we'll however you want to work it out.
Yeah, what the heck.
But they can write the check to Bob Beck and Warren Evans just as easy as you guys, right?
That's right. It works for me.
Yes, I'm all for it.
You know, we can do that. All right, we were waiting for the 7.0, 750 cars. Nostalgia stock. We need you back to the lanes, please. Top stock to the lanes. Top stock to the lanes. All right, Cackle Fest guys, stand by. We're going to bring you out as soon as we can. We don't have a time for you just yet. We're still running the elimination round, so Cackle Fest guys, relax. Take in the excitement of the racing today. We'll bring you out in just a little while, but we've got to get through the elimination classes right now. All right, still a few event shirts available at the reunion tent. Check it out. Go on over there. You got to get that shirt to prove that you were here. Take one home to the family as well. Check out the great items from the NHRA Motorsports Museum. Get your event shirt. Limited sizes available. The hat is cool looking as well. You don't want to miss out on that. There's a lot of other goodies down there, posters and more at the reunion tent. Tell them Warren and Bob sent you.
That's right. Warren and Bob sent you. And Bob, tomorrow's Father's Day, so
yes,
how do you think that event shirt will look paired with the tie that you're going to get for Father's Day tomorrow?
A tie?
A tie.
What the heck am I going to do with a tie? I haven't worn a tie. You know, the last time I did wear a tie last October. My son got married. I had to go out and buy the tie. So, but yeah, Father's Day is coming up tomorrow, ladies. You know, there's a Manufacturers Midway area. Holley's down here. You name it, it's here. The swap meet area, if the guys haven't left already. The seasoned vintage parts. You never know what you're going to find down there. Get the event shirt. Be the first on your block to have one. They're not available in stores. You won't find them on the internet, but well, you will if you go into the NHRA Motorsports Museum site. You might find them there later on, but you can get them fresh here.
That's right.
They're right here now. So check it out. Get on over there. The reunion tent has got all the NHRA Motorsports Museum goodies that you could want right here, right now. You don't have to pay for shipping. You don't have to wait. You can get them right now, right here.
And that's right. You know, like you say, you can get it right here, right now. And if you're like me,
yes,
when I go shopping for something tangible, something that means something to me,
yeah,
I like to touch it, feel it, and make sure it's right, and, you know, get your hands on it rather than trying to buy it on the internet and figure it out that way.
Well, I tried that too, but I get slapped. That's another story altogether. So head on over there. Lots of stuff over there for you. We're going to get more racing action for you. We've got semifinal rounds and final rounds coming your way in a little bit. We're waiting for some of the cars down in the staging lanes now. We see drivers getting suited up. We're about ready to go back to racing action here at Beach Bend at the 16th Annual Holley National Hot Rod Reunion. All right, a little bit of track prep done. Track is ready to go. We've got some nice cars coming up through the staging lanes, getting ready to put on a show for you. We thank you for being here. We do appreciate you joining us for this great event this weekend. You're part of history as the 16th Annual Holley National Hot Rod Reunion presented by AAA keeps on going. We got more for you. We've got more racing. We've got Cackle Fest. We have the presentation to the winners of the drag racing. Lots going to happen. We got more for you. The Cackle Fest parade and presentations all going to happen as soon as we get the racing done. We'll get right into that. All right, don't forget the honorees will be coming out right before the Cackle Fest tonight as well. So if you haven't already seen them, they're going to be here. So lots still going on, lots still to happen. The festivities do not end until the lights go out tonight. All right, so we got guys suiting up back in the lanes. We're waiting for them to pull up, and we will continue on with elimination rounds here. We're going to have the Cackle Fest and the parade later on. Little extra track prep going on here as we wait for the cars. Now, we have never actually timed the tractor. Our sand clock doesn't go that far. All right, I believe our 750 index cars are coming up. We've got 7.0, 750. Lots more racing action for you as we close in on the final rounds. All right, so we got super stock and modified in the lanes. The index cars, the 750 and the 7.0s are pulling up in the lanes. We've got some racing action getting ready for you right now as they pull up in the staging lanes. And don't forget, if you still got the munchies, Back Porch Grill. They've got pork chops, $3. Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, $2. Cheeseburger. Hot dogs or tube steaks, $1. Nachos, just $2. They don't want to go home with the food, so get on over there. There is no restaurant you can go to tonight where you can eat cheaper than that. All right, track prep is cleaned up. We are bringing up some race cars. This is the 750 index category. Niles Rubar out of Cocoa, Florida. Dan McWhirter out of Bradford, Ontario. 750 heads up index for these guys. Your number one qualifier was Niles over in the Budweiser lane. Jegs.com lane is Dan McWhirter, 56 qualifier. Straight axle and gas eliminator to the lanes. Straight axle and gas eliminator to the lanes. Off they go. McWhirter with the whole shot, but he uses up a lot of real estate. Can he hold on? He does. 758 to a breakout. 749 for Niles. He goes 749 with a 3 against the 758. And McWhirter even got there first by 69 10,000ths of a second. Boom Boom Leonard over in the Budweiser lane, the number 2 qualifier. Steve Matthews out of Murrieta, Oklahoma, the 69 Woody Gilmore chassis. This is a true nostalgia car, built in 1969. It's got a Chevy 406 small block against a 360 cubic inch Chevy. 750, the magical number. That was quarters. That wasn't semis. So we've got Kelly Friel's Key out of Island, Kentucky in the 34 Bantam, and Art Millett out of Piqua, Ohio. 750 is the index for these cars. So this is quarterfinals for them. quarterfinals. We'll have 3 cars coming back for the next round. Times are close, and they are very close. Coming up on the finish line, lights. A 7:49 with a 3 breakout for Millet. 7:50 with a 9 for Kelly Friel's Key, right on the number. Kelly had an 0:14 reaction time and tops it off with a 7:50 on a 7:50 index. Art had an 0:21 reaction time and goes 7:49 with a 3. Misses the number by 7 thousandths of a second. The margin of victory, 9 ten-thousandths of a second. It was just the dust on the tires that separated them at the finish line. All right, the 7-0 cars are pulling up now. All right, we got 3 7-0 Pro cars coming up right now. We'll see if there's a 4th. There we go. One more being towed up right now. So we've got 4 with 5. You get egg roll. All right, 7-0, you should be suited up, ready to go. 7-0 Pro, you should be suited up and ready to go. All right, 7-0 Pro coming at you right now. Robbie Friels out of Island, Kentucky, here in the Jegs lane. Gordon Horn out of Rockport, Indiana, with the Corvette. He is over in the Budweiser lane. Says he's got 532 cubic inches worth of Oldsmobile in the Corvette. He was the number 2 qualifier with a 700 with a 6. Robbie Friels was the number 4 qualifier with a 702. Friels in the Jegs lane. Gordon Horn in the Budweiser lane. This is quarterfinals for 7-0 Pro. All right, get ready to go. 7-0, the magic number they're looking for. With the better reaction Reaction time, trying to stay out in front. Will he stay out there and get the win? He does. 7-0. For Friels. 6.98 with a 6 for Gordon Horn. Margin of victory, 16 thousandths of a second. Friels had him beat on the starting line with an 0.30 light to an 0.65. He carried it out there, stayed consistent, 194 miles an hour to 200. Lawton Ferrier, the second out of Spring Valley, California. 48 Fiat Topolino. Over in the Budweiser lane is the number 1 qualifier. Billy Smith out of Pinkerton, Ohio, the number 6 qualifier. The difference between number 1 and 6 are mere 200ths of a second in qualifying. But this is racing, and it's got nothing to do with qualifying. We've seen that all day long. We've seen the top qualifiers upset by lower level entries. And lower level means they just didn't qualify at the higher number. Doesn't matter. This is the race. This is where things change. This is where it counts. Billy Smith out of Pinkerton, Ohio, the dragster. Lawton Ferrier out of Spring Valley, California, the Fiat Alter. 485 cubic inches with a Chevy Power in the Fiat, 400 inches of small block in the dragster. It's not how big the motor is, it's how quick you get there. Go 7-0, but don't go any quicker. Times are close, 60-foot marks, nearly identical. At the stripe, it is Billy Smith. Runs right on the numbers, 7-0 at 187 miles an hour. Their number 1 qualifier goes 7:03 at 192. These guys weren't lifted. Billy Smith goes on to the semifinal round. More action happening. Dick Smith coming back for the semifinal. He gets the gimme into the next round. The Sharonville, Ohio-based car ran 7:04 in qualifying, was number 8. Straight axle and comp eliminator. We need you back to the lanes. Straight axle and comp eliminator to the lanes, please. Dick Smith looking for a good run. No competition. He can either just break the beam and back out of it, or he can push it and see what he can do. See how the car feels in the heat of the day. He stumbles a bit, and he backs out of it as he gets out of the groove big time. He had an 0.28 reaction time, coasts through the lights with an insignificant 10.73 at 76 miles an hour. Now we're on with stock. More racing action coming your way. Jimmy Gower out of Litchfield, Kentucky. 65 Buick Special with a 455, dials 1250. Kurt Neighbor out of Twinsburg, Ohio. 65 Comet, 482 cubic inches worth of big block Ford. Dials 975. The Buick. Got a 455 motor. Those are torque monsters. 1250 dial. The Buick will leave first. And he goes red. The win automatically goes to Kurt Neighbor. 004 red light for Jimmy Gower. Gower goes 12:43. Not only does he red light, he breaks out to make up for it. Kurt Neighbor, 112 reaction time. Ooh. And then runs a 10:40. Brett Wheeler out of Watkinsville, Georgia, 67 Corvette wagon, takes on Danny Whitford's Paducah, Kentucky, 67 Chevelle. 10 flat dial in for the Chevelle, 1125 for the long roof racer. Wagon getting ready to go. He's gone. Chevy wheels up. Shot the tree on Wheeler. Is it going to pay off? Headed to the finish line. He's got him. 10:02 on a 10 flat dial to an 11:30 on a 25. But Danny Whitford had an 0.61 reaction to a 1.63 for Brent Wheeler. Ford and Dodge. D.W. Hopkins in the 66 Fairlane, 71 years young and retired. Donnie Wilson out of Cave City, Kentucky, 67 years old. Dials 11.25 to an 11 flat for Hopkins. Hopkins will be chasing. Fully staged. Mopar's getting ready to leave. We can see the stagger, and he's gone. Identical. Dodge and Ford running for the win light at the stripe. It's the Ford. 11:05 to a breakout. 11:19. There was a 100th of a second difference on the reaction times. Butch Cassidy out of Park City, Kentucky. It's the truck driver with the 69 Dart. Gets the bye into the next round. Looking for a 12.50, which runs down track, and he goes 12.57, 106 miles an hour. Henry J. and the Nova coming up next. Greg O'Quinn from Tupelo, Mississippi with 52 Henry J, 327 Chevy for power, dials 11 flat. Dan Wright out of Fayetteville, Tennessee, 66 Nova, 434 big block, 10 flat. So the Henry J will leave the line first. A second later, Dan Wright in the Nova will try to chase him down. Nova moving up, Henry J moving in, each one moving slowly into the beams. Full stage for the Nova, he rolls right in. Henry J now got the pre-stage light lit, clears the motor, full stage. Henry will leave first. Oh, and he's late. Boy, did he get lucky. 1.1 second reaction time, and Daniel Wright red lights. Wright red lights with an 0.74, and Greg O'Quinn with a 1 second reaction time. You got to get him some no-dos for the next round. Woo. Tim Birmingham out of Cincinnati, Ohio with the Chevelle. Bob Klink out of Hamilton, Ohio with the Corvette. 10-second dial in for Klink, 11-second for Birmingham. Cincinnati, Ohio-based machine. 2 Ohio cars. Reaction advantage, a huge one. Corvette already lifting the throttle. He's pedaling it. He gets the win. 10-16 to an 11:01. Birmingham, 0.3 of a second late on the lights. 0.54 for Klink. Dodge here in the right lane. Dennis Breeden out of Plainville, Indiana, 68 Plymouth. Got a Chrysler. Hot Rod, Geezer Gassers, and Scott Rods through the lanes. Hot Rods, Geezer Gassers, and Scott Rods through the lanes. Dodge pulls the wheels up high. Plymouth pulls the wheels up high. Looking for a 10-second run at the stripe. 10:02, 133 miles an hour. Rick Winchester out of Cincinnati with the Corvette. Bill Semperut out of Franklin, Ohio, the 66 Nova. 1150. Heads up for these two cars. Stage light Corvette trying to keep out in the lead. He's got it tight. It's close. Almost equal at the 1,000-foot. And a breakout for Bill. The win goes to Winchester right on the number. 1150 on an 1150. Had a 0.20 reaction time and runs an 1150. Now the Ford takes on the Plymouth. Doug Duell, famous name in racing action. As a matter of fact, our Grand Marshal beat Doug's dad in the Winter Nationals, or the Indy race. George Warren in the drills the tree on Warren. Warren late on the lights. Is that going to cost him? Against Duell, it does, of course. 1067 on a 50 to an 1102, but a 236 reaction time for Warren versus an 047 for Doug Duell. Sam Patrick coming up with his Chevy Coupe against the Fairlane. Kenny Robinson out of Greentown, Indiana, 67 Fairlane. It's a 10-second index for the e-gas cars. Sam Patrick, Sandpoint, Michigan, 37 Chevrolet, 406, small one. Kenny Robinson, Greentown, Indiana, 67 Fairlane with a 466 big block. Ford against Chevrolet. The rivalry continues. Advantage, a slim one. Side by next, coming up on the finish line lights. And it's a 999 breakout for Sam Patrick. Kenny Robinson runs right on the number, 10 flat with a 1. Reaction advantage was to Patrick, but Kenny Robinson gets the number. Billy Stockel out of Via Ridge, Missouri. He's got the 70 Dodge Challenger with a 550. 409s. Bob Perkins gets the win. It's a double breakout. Perkins breaks out by 0.03 of a second. Billy breaks out by 0.09. That was a close one. 58 Ford. He's been driving this car for 45 years. I think he's got it down. Out of Alpharetta, Georgia. 618 cubic inches with a big block. Dials 9 flat. Gets the whole shot. They're looking for 9 flat. Is Tresh going to hold on? He does. 901 to a 9 flat. Saying Keith was off the mark only on reaction time. He had an 085 to an 027. Margin of victory, 48 thousandths of a second. Nick DeShawn out of Kokomo, Indiana, 69 Camaro, 582 big block, dials 850. Butch Steffens out of Washington, Missouri, 41 Willys, 672 cubic inches worth of mountain motor, Chevrolet. $850 dial for Nick in the Budweiser lane. 8 flat dial in for Butch in the Jegs lane. See next line chasing is Butch. Reaction advantage, 0.02 of a second. I'm not going to tell you who got it though. At the stripe, Nick DeShawn. He did not have the advantage on the starting line, but he runs right on his number. 850 on an 850, to an 806 on an 8 flat. Margin of victory, 43 thousandths of a second. 63 Corvette here in the right lane takes on the Bantam Roadster in the left lane. The Budweiser car, driven by Stan Hunter out of Nashville, Tennessee. Jay Rowe out of Cornersville, Indiana, the 63 Corvette. '63, first year of the Stingray. Chevrolet titled the Corvette as America's sports car, and it really was. But the front suspension on the Corvettes was antiquated, coming from the early 50s Chevrolets. J. Rowe in a C class car. Stan Hunter in a D. Shut them off. We'll bring them back to life. They'll stage now and get on down the track. 388 cubic inches with a small block for Stan Hunter. 540 big block for G. Reaction advantage huge as they head down track. Hunter holding off the Corvette and takes the win. He had a 002 reaction time, runs right on the dial in of 950. J. Rowe, an 050 reaction time, and also runs on his dial-in with a 9 flat. The margin of victory, 42 thousandths of a second. It was on the starting line. 002 to an 050 reaction. Dan Deshawn out of Logansport, Indiana, 27T. Shane Bowman with a 23T. 850 dial-in for Shane in the Jedgeland. 9 flat dial-in for Dan in the Budweiser. .348. 70, 750. It's stock to the lane. We've got gassers waiting at bay. 2 roadsters ready to go. Now it looked like it from the start, but they're 2 different dials. But Dan breaks out 897. He had the whole shot. Shane Bowen goes 850 on an 850. Deshawn goes 97 on an 00. Pat Lamont, 80 is what he dials. 23T with a Chevy, 500 big block. Out of Lake Villa, Illinois. Pat Lamont on a single run. His index is 8 flat. Reaction time 1.1 the first 60 feet. Comes up on the finish line lights, goes 797, just a shade under the index. Greg Berg out of Petal, Mississippi, 38 Chevrolet, 555 big block going 1050. Don Moyer out of Menton, Ohio, 40 Willys, looking for an 11 flat. The Willys will leave the line first. The Chevy will try to chase. Full staged in the Budweiser lane. Now it's a full stage here in the Jegs lane. It'll go up. Better reaction time in the right lane. Is it going to pay off? At the stripe, it does. 11:13 on 11 flat to an 11:02. 2:48 reaction time for Berg, a 1:52 for Moyer. Neither one are stellar reaction times, but the right lane a whole bunch quicker. Joe Bush with a 10 flat dial out of Laurel, Mississippi with the 40 Willys Overland truck. Gary Raber out of Royal Palm Beach, Florida with the 40 Ford Coupe. 11 flat dial for the Coupe, 10 flat for the pick 'em up. Full stage for both. It's the loud pedal and goes red. Big time. Raber goes 190 into the red. Left way early, and Joe Bush goes on to the next round. Runs 10:14 on a 10 flat to a 14:35. Raber saw the error of his ways and just motored on down. Frank Blaylock out of Taylorsville, Mississippi with the 41 Plymouth Chevy powered. Dan Tackett out of Gulfport, Mississippi with the 36 Chevrolet. 10 flat dial for the Chevy. 11:50 for the Plymouth. Guys are getting tired. Reaction times are getting slower. As they head down track, side by next, Plymouth losing with a 12:29 to a 10:48. We've got the Scott rods for you. Here comes Chuck Finders. Pick up against the Willys Coupe. So Jeff Crayon out of Buffalo, New York, the Ron Brizio machine. And they're doing some burnout. We think that's the final here, and I believe so. Jeff Crayon in the Willys pickup. He's got a 560 index. And Mark Benjamin ready to go. Two 1933 Willys. Mark Benjamin in the Golden machine. It's all steel. Rarity for 33 Willys. And the Ron Brizio named car. Originally built in the 60s as a AA gas car in California by Chuck Finders. The car raced at Famoso, Lions, and all Southern California tracks, including the U.S. Nationals. In 2014, it won the NHRA National Hot Rod Reunion and the 2015 Night Under Fire. Mark Benjamin enjoys driving his golden all-steel Willys, and he's a trucking company CEO, Diversified Carriers Incorporated. 560, they run the 8th mile. That's the index. Better with the 2 reaction times to Benjamin, but the win goes to Jeff Crayon. He goes 568 to a 618. So he runs the number or closer to the number. So your number 3 takes the win in the final round of Scott Rod's Gassers. Bob Westhoff out of Martinsville, Missouri with the Flying Falcon. He's got a 460 Ford motor up in front of that thing. Mark Friend with an 1120 dial in with the chop top Christine 257 Ford. 1044 dial in for the Falcon, 1120 for the 57 Ford. semifinal round for Hot Rod. Two Fords. $750, 7-0. Nostalgia Super Stock and Gas Eliminator. Back to the lanes, please. 1044 dial into an 1120. The 57 Ford will charge off the line first. The Falcon will try to chase it down. Can he do it? Mark Friend in the 57 Ford's got a sizable lead, and it's not good enough. 10:59 to a 11:27, and Bob Westhoff goes into the final. Who will it be against, the Comet or the Chevelle? Johnny Matthews out of Pleasant View, Tennessee in the 65 Comet with the 351, dials 1148. Lynn Zandbergen with an 1184 dial-in out of Shelbyville, Michigan. 70 Chevelle, 496 Big Block. 65 Comet, 351 Ford. Side by next, here we go. They're both staged. Chevy leaves the line, and the Merc is chasing. Merc coming on strong at the 330 point. They are nearly side by side. At the stripe, who's going to get the win light? It's going to be the Mercury. It's going to be an all-Ford final. 11:53 to an 11:88, and it is Johnny Matthews taking the win. 348, 409 category coming up to the water box now. The 9-passenger wagon over in the Budweiser lane. He's run that lane each and every run today. He's happy with it. Timothy Tasmer out of Wallingford, Connecticut, was the number 4 qualifier, dials 1239. James Schrader out of Hartsburg, Missouri, 1175 dial-in. The wagon will leave the line first. Watch this long roof racer go. He's been consistent, as has Schrader. 62 wagon, 62 sedan. Red light gives it away, and Timothy Tasmer goes to the final. And Timothy breaks out with a 1236, but at first the worst. At first was the red light. Next up, 263 Chevys. One will go up against Timothy. Ralph Denny out of Red Bud, Illinois, 63 Impala, 409. Brian Fugate, Norwalk, Ohio, 63 Impala SS. Both have 409s. Number 1 qualifier was Ralph in the left lane. Number 2 was Brian. On the number 1 qualifier. Headed down track. Will Fugate be too quick? Will he run the number? He does. He gets it. 11:52, 113 to an 11:40. Ralph unable to run the number, left the line late, and Brian Fugate goes to the final up against Timothy in the wagon. So we'll have a 62 wagon up against a 63 SS in the 409 category. All semifinal categories should be in the lanes. If you're in the semifinal round, you should be in the lanes. We're running out all the semifinalists right now, and we'll be back with finals in just a little bit.
So once again, if you're in the semifinal round, semifinals, we need you back to the staging lanes. Immediately. That is right. If not sooner. So once again, if you're in the semifinals, we need you back to the lanes. If you're in the final round, you can hang on. We'll call the finals up as a group. But semifinalists, we need to get you down to the finals. So we need you all back to the staging lanes now.
All semifinalists to the lanes. All right, we got the 7-5 semi coming your way right now. Drivers are suited up and in their cars. We're getting ready to go. That was your hint to get suited up and be ready. All right, the semifinalists, fire them up. This is 750 heads-up index category. Bob Fry, please come back to the tower. Bob Fry, please come to the tower. Preston Davis is patient. Well, he's here. He's waiting. He may not be so patient. .750 index. Boom, boom, Leonard in the right lane, the Jegs lane. He was the number 2 qualifier, taking on Kelly Friels Key from Island, Kentucky. Number 9 qualifier. This is the semi-final round of 750. Who's going to go to the final? Kelly comes back quickly with the Bantam Roadster. Oh, boom, boom. Gets a little out of line there. Gets it back. Running over to the crew member, not the way to do things.
Hey, once again, we need top fuel, and funny car. Final rounds to the staging lanes, please. Top fuel and funny car to the lanes for your final round. So once again, all categories that are still in semifinals, if you're not in the lanes, you're late. We're running you right now so we can get our final round set. So all categories that are still in semifinals, you need to be in the lanes now. We are running you out to get our final round matchups lined up. We also need Top Fuel and Funny Car to the lane as they will start out our final round procession.
That's a semi there, isn't it?
Of course, Bob, we still got some great racing action in all of our categories. The finalists have been set in many of our categories. Looks like we still got Gas Eliminator over here. And I think Modified maybe still is short a car to get their semis put together, but we need all those finalists back to the lanes, and we'll start out all of our final rounds with Top Fuel and then Funny Car, and then the rest of our finals will run. But that won't be all, because after that, it'll be time for the Cackle Fest.
Cackle Fest and award presentation. We're going to have a parade with our honorees. It's going to be a good evening. There's still lots to do, lots to see. Don't leave your seats. We've got more action coming your way. All right, Dodge over the left lane. Bob Perkins out of Milton, Ontario. 67 Cornet, 535. Run dials 950. Kenny Robinson, 10 fat. Flat dialing with the 67 Curly. All right, we still have to run the Jets, folks. We're going to run the Jets for you. After the final rounds, before the Cackle Fest, we'll bring out the Weenie Roasters, so stick around. Perkins goes red. Kenny Robinson sees it. He says, I'm not pushing it. Why? I've got the win already. So Bob Perkins goes red with an 0.055 and runs a 957. Kenny Robinson says, gotcha. And he's going into the final. Now, he's going into the final against either the Camaro or the Corvette here. John Tresh, Alabama, 61 Corvette. Or Nick Deshawn out of Kokomo, Indiana, the 69 Camaro. 9 flat dial for the Corvette. 850 for the Camaro driver. Who's going to the final? The Plastic Fantastic 61 Corvette or the first generation Camaro. Time trip zip for the Camaro driver. Is it going to work? Double breakout, the Corvette. John Tresh gets the win. He had a perfect reaction time of 0.000, then runs 8.97 on a 9 flat to an 8.45 on an 8.50. The margin of victory, 0.02 of a second. The difference on the breakout, 52 ten-thousandths of a second. We need all remaining competitors to the lanes, please. All remaining competitors to the lanes. All right, comp semifinal coming to the lanes right now. Pat Lamont out of Lake Villa, Illinois. 8 flat is the index for the A comp. For the B comp car, it's 850, and Shane Bowman coming up into the right lane. Bowman out of Albany, Indiana. 2 T's ready to go, both Chevy powered. If you go back and far enough in time, you'll find out Chevrolets have always been making Fords go fast. Back until 1917. You look back at the days in the late 1920s, the Chevrolet brothers built racing engines. They didn't build Chevrolet engines, they built Ford engines. They called the company the Frontenac, or the engines the Frontenac. They're affectionately called by Ford aficionados Fronty Fords. They were Chevrolet modified motors. They built Model A's and Model T's for racing purposes. At that point, racing was drills the tree and is on his way to a victory. If he doesn't break out, he's looking for an 850. Oh, he goes 856, and Pat Lamont comes from behind, goes 8 flat right on the number. He had an 0.74 reaction to an 0.22. Bowman had it covered all the way to the stripe. And then Pat Lamont will go on to the final round, runs right on the dial-in of 8 flat. Stan Hunter just needed to take the beam, and he did. He'll keep it cool and save it for the final round. All final round competitors, please come back to the lanes. All final round competitors, as quickly as you can, please come back to the lanes. We've got Top Fuel and Funny Car in the staging lanes, getting ready to go for their final rounds. Bob Klink out of Hamilton, Ohio, 65 Corvette, takes on Dennis Breeden in the Plainsville, Indiana, 68 Plymouth. One of our last semifinal rounds, 10-second heads up for these two guys. 427 cubic inches for the Corvette. Dennis Breeden in the 68 Plymouth. Now the Corvette aficionados would cringe at a modified Corvette, but this is what Corvettes were made to do, race. Corvette slight edge. Plymouth backs out of it. Is the Corvette going to go too quick? No, he lifts as well. No, he doesn't. He breaks out. The Corvette breaks out, and Dennis Breeden takes the win. So the Corvette runs it out the back door and breaks out after his competition shut down. So the Plymouth will go on to the final round against Greg O'Quinn's Henry J, which technically today is a Mopar because it was part of Willys, which is acquired by AMC, which was acquired by Chrysler, which makes it a Mopar. Although it's Chevrolet powered. And he's just going to motor on down the line. We need all finalists to the lanes, please. All finalists to the lanes, please. Here comes a Comet and a Falcon around the bend. The Hot Rod Final coming your way as two Ford products come to the head of staging. It'll be a 1960 Falcon up against a 1965 Mercury Comet, the kissing cousin to the Falcon. '65 Comets are my favorite of the compact Mercuries. I remember Don Nicholson with his AFX 427 powered Cyclones back in the day. The 1960 Falcon, the first of the Falcons, going up against the 1965 Comet. And the Willys has got 4 people pushing it, trying to keep the engine cool. Look at that. The driver's sitting back going, yeah, go ahead, keep pushing. I'm comfortable. I got a 25-layer suit on. I'm comfortable. Little track prep as we go into the final rounds. Want everything to be great for these finals. Hot rod final will be first. Gassers will follow, but we've only got one gasser here right now. And here comes the Rebel Reaper. So the second Willys comes around. All right, here we go. Bob Westhoff out of Martinsville, Missouri, the 1960 Ford Falcon with a 460. Johnny Matthews out of Pleasant View, Tennessee, 1965 Comet with a 351 small block. Your number 6 against number 3 qualifier. They've made it to the finals. The qualifying position means nothing at this point. 1044 dial in for the Falcon, 1148 for the Comet. All right, getting ready to go. Close on dial-ins, a second off. Falcon barely lights the bottom bulb. Comet is there. Lights begin to drop. Comet is gone. Falcon is chasing. Falcon closing in. He's got the bigger motor. He's got the faster car. Can he catch the Comet at the stripe? And he does. 1047 on a 44 to an 1158 on a 48, and Bob Westhoff becomes the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion champ in the hot rod class. Warren, here you go. Gassers for you.
Yep, Geezer Gassers coming up now. This is their final round. Little pickup truck over there. Out of Laurel, Mississippi, the 40 Willys Overland. That is Joe Bush, C Geezer Gasser category. 10 flat the dial. Alongside the 11 flat dial, Don Moyer out of Mentor, Ohio. The 40 Willys. Over here on the jegs.com side, a 1 second head start. And look at this for Joe Bush. Looks like his race is over right now as there's fluid coming out from underneath the vehicle. Brad Bushell, our chief starter, given the signal to cut it off.
Willys goes Tinkle on the starting line.
That's right. So Don Moyer will pick up the championship trophy as your winner. Keep it off the center line, Don. Moyer drives it out the back door to an 1167 at 114. So Don Moyer, the champion in the category. Coming up next, it'll be Nitro in the pipes as your top fuel. Final waits at the ready line. James Young and Mindy Fry wait in the wings for the championship round here at the Holley National Hot Rod Reunion.
This is going to be a good final. We've got some top racers making it to the final. In top fuel, the high-speed motorsports machine with Mindy Fry behind the wheel. And then the competition has waded through everything to get here. Here they come up to the starting line.